night started out with so much potential. We had a beautiful opening ceremony, one outside and one inside for Bob Miller. It was basically Bob Miller Appreciation Day again. We unveiled his statue, which is very snazzy looking, if I do say so myself. And then inside, we raised the banner for Bob Miller, making him the lucky number seventh banner in King's history to be raised. And 4 of the other 6 players that have already had their banners retired were on hand and carried the banner out for Bob Miller, so that was awesome. There were so many Kings legends in attendance tonight for Bob, which just made it more the pity that the LA Kings currently on the roster did not really show up. Yeah, there was also a lovely little bobblehead. How cute is bobblehead Bob Miller? I love this. This might be my favorite. I have a lot of favorites because there's one with Goostel and there's a fun Toffoli one, but bobblehead Bob Miller is pretty up there. So that was great. And then the puck dropped and it all went downhill from there. Within the first 2.5 minutes, we had our first fight. Unsurprising considering that the Kings were playing the Ducks and they hate each other, and the Ducks are a very what's the nice way to put it, belligerent team. They're a very heavy-hitting team. And so, yeah, the first one was Bull and McDermott, which, again, unsurprising that these 2 people would be the ones beating the crap out of each other. It was kind of a boring fight, honestly. Like, it went on for a minute before the rest were like, okay, we're done. Because it was just kind of them skating around and sort of getting in hits, but none of them were good knockouts. So they go in the box. And then the puck is dropped again, and immediately Andreoff and Bieksa throw down their gloves, and they get into it, and Andreoff gets the better end of that one, I will say. I'm used to McDavid being the better fighter, and Andreoff not so much. But no, he kind of pummeled Bieksa to the ground, so cool, I guess. All right, so that's 2 of our players down, a defenseman and a forward. All right, that's okay. We can handle that. Puck drops again, gloves drop again. 2 fights just wasn't enough. This time it's Clifford, which I also understand. Of the players on the team, those 3 are the most likely to get in a fight, but seriously, all 3 at the same time? Good Lord. And Cliffy kind of got his ass handed to him a little bit. He got pummeled just a little bit into the ground, so that was not so great. I half expected a 4th fight to break out because apparently anything goes, because we've played less than 3 minutes, and within the space of literally 5 seconds, there have been 3 fights. Literally 5 seconds of playing time had elapsed. So that was fun, I guess. So once that was all out of the way, a 4th Duck joined them in the penalty box for 2 minutes this time, and the Kings had a power play. Okay, guys, we've played 3.5 minutes. There's a lot going on in the first period, so we don't do so great on the power play. I mean, it's fine, especially as far as LA Kings power plays go. You know, they're typically not the greatest. But maybe 2 or 3 shifts after we end the power play and we're not getting anything by Gibson, they got one by Quick. And he's going to want that back. We all want that back. It was a shot he so easily should have been able to stop. I don't understand what happened, and clearly neither did any of the Kings. It went downhill from there, too. I mean, to give up the first goal was not surprising for the Kings, but against the Ducks, and especially considering it had been 30 minutes and we still had only played maybe 5 minutes of actual hockey, it was not going the Kings' way. The hits technically were even, but it didn't look that way. The Ducks seemed to be getting the better end of the hits. About, 7-8 minutes in, we had 5 shots on goal, they had 1, and they had a goal. So this is the kind of game that we're playing here. We're inching along, we're getting our asses handed to us along the boards, and we're just not playing very good hockey. Absolutely no presence in the neutral zone. If we got breakaways, the Ducks, they basically defended the rush. There was no rushes for us to have. We were just falling all over ourselves. We couldn't get any momentum going, couldn't get any kind of plays set up. It was just kind of sad. And towards the end of the period, Doughty he had this awesome, skates by and, throws his shoulder back with a look over his face. I don't even think he looked over. It's just he had this look on his face, this attitude. But I guess the puck had already left the other player's stick. I thought it hadn't, but I'm not a ref. So anyway, they call interference. And I'm thinking, Drew got the better end of that deal. Sure, Drew on the box for 2 minutes isn't great. But our PK is, that's them scoring on it. Okay, never mind. Take that back. Possibly deflected in by Folan. Love it when that happens. Our own defenseman deflects the puck in the back of the net. But there it is. It's 2-0, end of the first period, and no, that's not really what you want to see. So they come out for the second period, and basically nothing happens for 20 minutes. I believe we had a power play with 3 minutes to go. But essentially, the Ducks were all over us. They were hitting the crap out of us, and we could not get a play together to save our lives. The puck was just not getting anywhere near Gibson. It did once. We had one goal that was almost immediately waved off. There was some video review, and it showed that Iafallo had actually batted the puck in with his hand. Maybe you can't see it in this visual, but when you look at the overhead, yeah, totally obvious. That's not a goal. Awesome. Thanks, Iafallo. Though I will say he was one of the better players on the ice tonight, so I don't want to, don't want to make fun of him too much. It was kind of a sprawling play, and so I understand it would have been nice if it was a goal. Would have been really nice if it was a goal, considering the final score was 3-2. Yeah, so we leave the second period still down 2-0, and we go into the third period, and it's not looking that much better because the first goal we give up is maybe 2 minutes, 21 seconds in, I believe. And it's just one of those goals that makes you want to cry. Not in a good way, not in a fun way, in a cringe-worthy, dear God, Jonathan Quick, please don't ever play the puck behind the net because shit like this happens. Sorry. Because stuff like this happens when you end up trapped behind the net and you can't get back to defend it, and so they shoot into an essentially empty net and get their third goal. And that is why I'm going to blame the game on Jonathan Quick, because goal 1 absolutely should have had. Goal 3, don't be puck handling behind your net. Just don't, please. It's not. It's bad. It's bad. So the Kings are a little deflated after that, understandably. Things are not going well. The Ducks are still all over them in the neutral zone. Can't make anything happen. Trevor Lewis, bless his heart, is doing everything he can to make it happen. We're all going for a Trevor Lewis hat trick at this point. No. He got his ass kind of handed to him a little bit too in the boards. It was not pretty, but bless him, he just kept going. He just kept playing. He had some of the best plays of the night that didn't end up going anywhere, but Trevor Lewis, man, he just always puts in 150%, and that's why I love seeing him on the team. So we get the first one back. It's 3-1. Things are looking okay. It's quite a great goal, actually. So 3-1, there's a little bit of time left, 12 minutes-ish, and so, maybe it happens, but we immediately get a penalty after this happens, and you're just thinking, why do you want to sabotage yourselves? Why do you hate us, LA Kings? Why did these things happen? They kill it off pretty easily, and then suddenly there's 6-ish minutes left in the game, and we get our second. And they start to give me hope, damn it. Don't give me hope if you're not going to follow through. At the first goal, we're just thinking, oh, good, Gibson doesn't have a shutout. That's as far as we're going to go. Because it didn't look like we were playing well enough to snap that back. And then with the second one, with just enough time left to really make a go of it, why do you do this to me? Why do I let myself get hooked every single time? Because the Kings used to be a team that could come back. Except the best chance they had once they pulled Jonathan Quick with about 2 minutes left. we were all screaming, get it to Martinez because he was open, and they did, but Martinez couldn't handle it, and it kind of got deflected into Toffoli right in front of the net, and he couldn't handle it, and it ended up on the stick of a duck and straight into the empty net. 4-2, a minute and a half-ish left, I don't know. There was not enough time to come back from 4-2, and that was the game. We're so sorry, Bob Miller. You deserved better than that. The problem seems to be that while the Kings absolutely crushed the East Coast, that's not who we're playing in the playoffs, if we even get there, because their record against the Pacific is just sad. Absolutely cannot play. So we've lost the last 3 games in a row, the last 7 of 8, and the last 12 of 15, I believe, is the statistic. Check the actual article attached to this. I will have the correct stat for you. But yeah, things are not going so great anymore. Once top of the division, now definitely sliding into habits that aren't good. Apparently the bye week did not do great things for them, and their next game is of course a divisional rival, the San Jose Sharks, in the afternoon. 2 things that typically do not go well for the Kings. So instead of leaving you with that horribly depressing thought, hockey, you kill me sometimes, I'm going to leave you with a few words that Jim Fox had to say about Bob Miller. I love Jim Fox. He makes me tear up when he talks about his old companion. He called Judy Miller the first lady of the LA Kings, and I love that, and that is what I'm going to call her from now on. I think it's beautiful. So, with that in mind, Bob Miller, we thank you for all of your service, for your 2 Stanley Cup calls. We love it. For everything you do for the community, for your fans, for everything that you are, Bob Miller, and the legacy that you have created, not just for the LA Kings, but for hockey broadcasting in general. Thank you, Bob.
Describing the moment. Describing the moment with honesty and the appropriate amount of energy. No gimmicks, no shtick, just call the game. I have another word. Interaction. The act of talking or doing things with other people. Bob, that is what set you apart. Yes, you communicated, but you also interacted. You brought everyone into that moment. You made us feel part of it. You made us all feel part of the team.